This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it because time is wasted. Go grind and chase it. Don't lose it.
So what's going on? Welcome to the Respect My Blueprint podcast. This is episode 18. And man, I'm excited for today's show, bro. So you guys are looking on the opposite side of the table trying to wonder what we got here. Listen, guys, I'm going to bring y'all sauce. Whoever I bring on this platform, they're going to bring y'all the sauce, the game, the gems, and all that. And guys, when it comes to personal credit, business credit, we got an extraordinaire in the building, man, and none other than Jaron Hicks. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm so ready for this. I'm sweating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sweating right
You
now.
got to feel that energy.
You feel me?
That's the energy, you know?
No, guys, just for guys, before the show, we had to scramble a little bit, so that's why I'm got a little water on my head right now. But either way, though, guys, I want to go ahead and start off who is Jaron Hicks? Let the people know, who are you, and basically, how did you become the funding specialist you are right now?
All right. For those you don't know, yes, like you said earlier, my name is Jaron. I go by J_the CEO on Instagram. So I'm known as the guy to fix your credit. But not only do I fix your credit, I also teach you how to build up your business credit, how to actually get funding so that you can actually scale your business. And on top of that, how to invest in
passive income,
so
right?
Passive income. Those people, they fix their personal credit. They don't know what to do. What's the next step? Now we're going to teach you exactly how to leverage the credit. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. So with that being said, how did you even get into the credit space?
So let's just say we're going to take it a little bit back. I started off, I would say, pretty young because being 20 years old and then being denied for a house and then buying my first house at 21, I was able to realize exactly what the blueprint was to actually becoming a homeowner, right? Let me see. I started working when I was 14 years old. I was working with my dad. He got me into the entrepreneurship space. So
that's good. So that's young, 14 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, you started young. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of kids was like they on their vacations and
riding BMXs and everything like that. You trying to go ahead and get into your entrepreneurship lane, pretty much, right?
Yeah, most definitely. I wanted to follow his footsteps, hearing, hey, he's making $100,000, $150,000 a year. I was like, what? Back then, me hearing that, I'm thinking six figures. So
that's dope money. And this is back in like the 90s, 80s, I'm assuming, right?
I would say probably, about 90s, maybe, early 2000s.
Yeah, so that's good money for us.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's definitely good money. Okay. So go ahead. So wait a minute. Before you continue on, I don't want to go ahead and go over that part you just said that you bought your first home at 20 years old.
Actually, 21. Yeah, so initially I tried to go in there and when I was 20 years old, right? And when they first basically came back to me and they told me that, hey, you weren't approved, it wasn't because of my credit score. My credit score was actually a 737.
Whoa.
So it actually boiled down to the fact that I didn't have enough credit history because that's the most important thing. Like most people, they think of, okay, here's my credit score. You know, I got a 750. I can go out and I can buy this car. I can go buy this house. That's just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
The credit score more or less determines what your interest rate's going to be. It's just like a check mark to say, okay, you meet.
So it's not the whole picture; it's just a part, pretty much. Got you. Okay.
You can have a 680 credit score, but a good credit profile and get approved, while somebody with a 750 but only has one, maybe a Capital One credit card, not.
Wow, and that's basically based on the profile, right?
Yep.
Because their profile is not strong as the second person with the Capital One is not as strong as the first person. So they both got a 700 plus credit score, but the profile ultimately is the ultimate decision maker.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Think about it like this, right? You got a restaurant, right? You trying to determine whether you want to go there or not, right? If it just opened up, say, a week ago, right? But they got a 5-star review, but they only got 5 ratings versus a restaurant that's been open 15 years. They got 25,000 reviews, but they got a 4.8 stars, 4.8 stars.
Right.
But there's 100 people out of that 20,000 that say this place sucks. What are you going to be more comfortable? Like, what are you going to trust more? Something that just opened up?
That is true. That's a good analogy to put in the game of credit right there. A lot of people, they may have a fire-ass restaurant, but, man, you just opened it a couple weeks ago. You need to build some credibility before you can start moving and shaking pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I want you to continue on this story. This all piggybacks off you getting denied for the house at 20 years old.
Yep,
right.
For sure. Okay. So basically, like once they told me exactly what it was due to my credit history. So I said, okay. I started taking action. I said, okay, let me go ahead and apply for this Capital One credit card.
Right.
That was my first credit card. So I got it wasn't much. It was $300.
Okay.
And then they said, go out here, go get yourself a personal loan. So I got myself a quick little personal loan. And then I kept my credit card utilization low. Credit score stayed up. 6 months later, came back, applied, was approved for a $200,000 house.
Damn. Wait a minute. Who taught you to be able to keep your credit, your utilization low and make the payments on time? Was this self-taught or you know from some old heads at that time or something like that?
Yeah, this was all self-taught. I didn't really get like really big into learning about credit until later on. We're going to get there in a little bit, but it's just, you know, like I said, trial and error.
Right.
And that's why it's like good to hear from somebody like me that says, don't make the same mistakes that I made. Because like I said, the number one thing I hear people say is, yeah, I got a 750 credit score. I can go get this. But this is if we see somebody on the street. But as a matter of fact, let's just say, would you trust your baby if you got kids and it's 10 years old?
Right.
The child never had an issue with paying you back. But if you give them a $2,000, they 10 years old. They don't have no negative, no history.
Oh,
no history. They never.
Good point.
What you gonna do,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So you got to think about it like that, and that's how banks are gonna look at you, like your history of paying something back over and over and over and over.
And that's where, of course, where the profile comes into play, because that's the history. So you cannot have like, for instance, a lot of young people, when they enter into adulthood, their first credit card is 18, 19 years old, right? They get that $500 credit card, right?
Yep.
But they don't realize that's not, and sometimes you have that credit card for 30 days and then you pay on it, then that'll get you a 700 credit score.
Yep.
Just that, 1 or 2 payments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most people, what we're learning right now, you don't realize is that, it takes at least 6 months of payments on that credit card, but also adding more trade lines to your credit to be able to have it grow as well, too. I just wanted to go ahead and just piggyback off the game you just shared there. Okay, with that being said, now you have learned to go ahead and leverage personal credit into business credit, okay? So I wanted to see if you could touch on, when did you learn the importance of business credit, or when did you actually start getting into business credit?
We got to take this one back a little bit again.
We taking it back,
story,
y'all. Come on.
We got to know the whole story, because for me, like, even though I bought my house really young, maybe I can say I got lucky, right? Because my lender was telling me what to do, but I wasn't always responsible with my credit.
Okay, so there was a time you fell off.
So I learned the credit space in the situation when I actually fell off, but it was one of them situations where I might have had this happen before, but I had a crazy exercise. She decided, like, after a year, she claimed that she left something in the house. I don't know, some PlayStation controller. You know what I'm saying?
After a year?
After a whole year.
Mind
you, this was on Valentine's Day too.
Come on, man.
Valentine's Day, a whole year later.
Man, you know what? I blame you. You should have been on UPS'd it over to her like 8 months ago before that. But
she was just looking for some kind of excuse.
To kind of,
I don't even know. Just wrong day.
Right.
But anyway, so she came that day. Of course, I'm not gonna let her in the house. It's Valentine's Day.
Right.
And because I guess she got upset, I wouldn't let her in the house. So now she started.
Because you wasn't her Valentine. That's what it was.
It was, for sure.
Okay.
So now at this point, now she's watching me and trying to see when am I leaving. But long story short, she ended up breaking in my house. But
my God.
Not only that, but what ended up happening is she went in, she destroyed my truck inside the garage, cut the tires, slashed the
Bro, this
seats
is
up.
after a year?
After a whole year. Yeah.
God. Hey.
These are the things like this that happen that actually can help uplift you.
That is true.
It's the bad things that happen.
This is the funny part. I'm just trying to bring some entertainment to the audience here. I find it very hilarious, but keep going.
This is crazy. It's like, but anyway, mind you, at this time when it happened, it was like, you know what, this kind of sucks, right? But at the end of the day, wasn't really mad because I needed a new truck anyway. My transmission had just went out. It was starting to go out.
Okay. So X, you did him a favor then. Appreciate that.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a favor.
Yeah,
you
okay.
It was a favor after the effect, right?
Right.
But basically, now the insurance company, they gave me a check. I think it was like about $10,000, right?
Okay.
So now I'm going to all these car dealerships, and these car dealerships are telling me, hey, you're looking at your credit score, it's not really looking too good. You like low 500s. So I'm just thinking to myself,
whoa, what's up?
Yeah, and that just came from me not really knowing about credit. I wouldn't say it was 100% like intentional, but it's because I wasn't really making a lot of money at this time. I was making $14 an hour. I was working at Dish Network. Right?
Oh, okay. So you just trying to live check to check, do your thing now at this point. Gotcha.
And mind you, too, this is what a lot of people don't realize. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to make a lot of money to get approved for a home. It's like I said, it's really about that credit. If you come up with a small down payment, and during this time, it was Obama. He had a first-time home buyer's credit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay,
so
dope.
For me, it was technically my down payment was going to be $16,000. All I had to do was come to the table with $8,000.
That's it.
And mind you, during this time of him telling me that, hey, you know what, you got to go ahead and build up your credit. I was stacking my bread up to get that $8,000. Like I said, it worked out anyway. But
okay, dope.
So back to the story. Everybody's telling me you're denied. So eventually, after going to several dealerships,
Right.
there was one dealership. I wasn't not trying to take no 29%. This one dealership finally was like, yeah, we can get you approved, but it's going to be a 16%.
Mm.
Mind you, when they told me that, I was like the happiest man in the world. Like, just being thankful for a 16%.
16%. Wow, that says a lot right there, bro. For real.
Now, fast forward into the day, I get mad if I get a 3%. Like, I literally, this is no lie. I called AB Federal when I got my last vehicle,
yeah.
and it was a 3.3 something percent interest rate. I called him. I said, yo, why is my interest rate so high?
Oh yeah, because you could get sporty with them now. Yeah, you got your credit the way you could talk that talk.
Yeah. Basically, just that whole thing that actually happened, just hearing how the dealerships are telling me no. Mind you, I'm like, yo, this is not even my fault. I didn't destroy my truck, but it just made me had that I guess that mindset to say I never want to be in a situation ever again. So
right.
at that point, I started learning, okay, how to fix my credit, how to make sure I maintain my bills and stuff on time. And it does. Once you hurt your credit, it's harder to actually fix it, removing the negatives and stuff, and the late payments.
Because it stays there technically, and then now you got to fight to get it off and all that good stuff.
Yep,
right?
7+ years. Yep,
absolutely. Yep.
Let's go ahead and say fast forward. Let's just fast forward to say 2020, right? As we all know, we went through this major crisis throughout the worldwide, COVID, right?
Pandemic, right?
So during this time, I was getting ready to actually purchase a new home.
Okay.
Now, typically, when you're buying a home, they want to see what your income is and, what it is for the past 2 years. So my job, I was making good money at my job, right? But part of the income was also me working overtime. So
you was putting in that work then, huh? Okay.
So when the COVID happened, they cut all overtime. When you cut all overtime, now it's okay. We can only improve you if this overtime is consistent. So now at this point, I'm scrambling like, okay, now I got to find a way to make this extra income so that I was already pre-approved. Now I don't want to be in a situation where the house is built.
I see what you're saying.
Because I actually opted to get a house built as opposed to, I don't know what you call it, just buying a home that's already built.
Pre-built. Okay, that's smart though. It's cheaper as well as you could be able to design it the way you want to.
Yeah, but on top of that too, is just the market was so crazy. It was hot. I put in $20,000-$30,000 over just to beat, and you still would lose out. So I said, you know what?
Yeah, because that's how it was like that for cars too, where they was overpricing cars and everything.
Yeah, most
good point. All right.
Yep. Started doing what I was doing back in high school. I was tinting some windows, but I realized that was a lot of extra strain on me. I'm getting off of work 4 or 5 o'clock. Got 2 appointments. I'm working till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get these cars knocked out. It just wasn't going to work out for me. So I said, what is something that I can actually teach everybody that can help everybody from anywhere in the world? Like I can literally just be here at the house because, like I said, they shut everything down.
Makes sense. Okay.
And I said, credit. Because everything revolves around credit.
It hit you just like that. Boom.
Yeah, for sure. So started learning about it, going on YouTube, just Google searching, and okay, this is how this works, okay.
Right.
And even like before I started, I didn't have a full actual game plan because if you just try to plan things out, it's going to take forever, right? Just get into it, learn as you go. So,
figure it out.
Yep. So started fixing people's personal credit, getting results. People were like, oh my God, cool, thank you. I was able to get into this house. So now I had this feeling of achievement, like, okay, I actually
you're
did
doing
it. So you get to the point to where I started realizing about my business, like, damn, yeah. And then I started hearing this thing about business credit, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why am I not using my business credit to actually pay for ads for my business to scale? Because the way I grew my business, I actually was running paid ads.
Okay.
And the paid ads, I was paying up to about $1,000 per day.
Damn, just to go ahead and bring that exposure to you, right?
Just to bring that exposure in. So it was a huge risk for me because if I went a couple of days, I ain't make no money.
$1,000 that you put in that you ain't seeing back at that time, right?
Yeah, exactly. 2 days not making no money because it can happen like that. That's $2,000 lost. What happened is I would actually get scared and be like, okay, I'm not running no ads. And I realized that's not what you should do. You should just continue what you got going on because you don't always make money the same day. So just hearing everybody talk about business credit, and I just started thinking to myself, what's all these corporate buildings, these skyscrapers and stuff? Like, how did they get built? Like, how did they get funded? Did these people just wake up with millions of dollars and come to find out, no, it's business credit. And then after realizing how easy it is to get business credit, all you got to do is have good personal credit, good history, an LLC, and you can get some banks $50,000, no docs.
That's it.
I was like, yo, this is a gold mine right here.
Wow. So that was pretty much the story that led you to get into business credit when going through that experience and then, okay, hold on, man. This is how the big boys are playing it.
Yep.
So with that being said, this is 2020. I'm glad that you started off by saying that. 2020, of course, was the pandemic and everything like that. Now, we all know during that time, the government was rolling out the PPP and all these other government programs that was helping people out, right? Right now, since there is no PPP type program, right, what is the best way for somebody to be able to get funding if they're just starting out into getting into their business?
Okay, cool. That's a great question right there. And this is what y'all need to listen up for.
Yeah, this
Y'all
is
trying to
where
get
the game
Y'all
here.
trying to get this funding?
You,
This part right here.
I'm
Yeah.
helping y'all out here, y'all.
All
I'm
right.
trying to go ahead and get some game for y'all. Let's do it. Come on.
PPP is gone. That's just not gonna work. You're not gonna get that free money like that. All right. Unless 2-3 years they may have something that comes up, but as of right now, leverage the power of business credit.
Right.
All it takes is number one, a good credit score, because you can't do nothing without a good credit score. Okay. So if you got negatives on your credit report, collections, charge-off, late payments, even if you got too many hard inquiries, right? Mm-hmm. Hard inquiries may not affect your credit score by 50, 60 points, like a collection or a charge-off, but
Right.
it's like a credit history type of deal. So anyway, make sure your credit report is nice and clean. And
Right.
if it's not, listen, no, I got you. All right. So
Pull up.
yeah, for sure. Credit history, again, I keep on reiterating that credit history is very important. Again, don't just get a 700 credit score. All right. Once you do that, before you even create your LLC, you
Right.
want to make sure that your business that you create is going to be credible, right?
Makes sense. Okay.
So you must make sure that you have a good business address, right? It can't just be a virtual address that you see. The first one you see that says $9. If you go to iPostal, you got Opus, you got Regis. Those are all places that you can actually get a business address from. But you must make sure that you look them up to make sure that it's actual a brick and mortar building.
Right.
And be attached to a Staples,
A mailbox or something like that. Right. It must
Exactly.
be something that's, like you said, an actual structure where, like, it's a shared workplace. Like we work and they have sections where you could process mail and stuff like that. Right. Okay.
Yep. That's the first step, right? Before you even create your LLC, all right? Because when you create your LLC, it's going to ask you for your business address. You want to do everything right the first time, all right?
Makes sense.
Get yourself a business email address, not something that ends at Jaron@gmail.com. It's got to be something like support@sixfigurefunding.com or info@. So go ahead and pay that additional money. Like the more money that you pay, the more professional that you look. Because again, they're going to look you up. Get yourself
More credible you seem, pretty
exactly.
much.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
The more credible you seem, the more money they're going to give you. Like you might still get some funding, but you might not get as much. Difference between getting 10,000 and 50,000 each bank can be
Big
huge.
difference. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So those are some of the things right there. You also got a lot of people say get a toll-free number. I would just say that just depends on, like I said, I don't know the actual true answer to that one. Me, I don't have a toll-free. Well, I had one, but I don't use it. I use my local numbers. But
Right.
once you do that, now it's time to go ahead and create your LLC.
So
Right.
that's the third step. Okay.
Yep.
So first step is creating a business, having your personal credit on point. Second step is then making the business credible. Then the third step is getting the LLC together.
Yep.
Bet.
And then as you're creating this LLC, some of the things you want to make sure that you look up, you want to check out your NAICS codes, your NAICS code.
Right. Okay.
If you're in the industry, like I get a lot of people that are in the industry of trucking and real estate, those are considered high-risk industries.
Really?
You're in that, yeah, it's crazy. I guess
Trucking, yeah,
maybe because real estate, you might sell a home and make $50,000 this month and may not make nothing for the next 2 to 3 months. Who knows?
Same thing with trucking, right? I can see that, right?
Yeah, like even credit repair is considered high risk. You got to know the tips and the tricks and stuff and what to say because you don't want to say it wrong and you go to the bank thinking that, okay, I'm about to get this $50,000, I'm about to go get this bag, and now they ask you, what do you do? Oh yeah, I do trucking.
Yeah.
They say, okay, put it down. And it goes in the system. Once it goes in that system,
It's out of there.
it's too late.
That's it.
So
Okay.
you want to make sure that you use something that's considered like low risk, right? If you can use like marketing or if you can use accounts consulting,
Right. Okay.
those are
a little bit more broader in general, pretty much. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Safer.
Yep. So once you do that, go ahead and create your LLC. Within a couple of weeks, you'll get your EIN. You don't want to wait. You can actually just go in and register for your EIN, get that right away.
Directly on the IRS's website. Yeah. IRS.gov, guys. You'll be able to get your EIN for free. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. You got a couple places you can go to, either InkFile or go to LegalZoom. I always use InkFile. They got different packages. It just all depends on what you need. But like I said, you don't really need the business. They're going to have add-on, do you want to add the business address? Mind you, we already did all that stuff prior.
Initially.
Now at that point, you got everything all set up. You're credible. Now it's time to go get the bag.
Oh, this is the fun part.
Fun part here.
Oh, okay. We did all that to get to this part. Let's get it.
All right. Now, you're going to go ahead and go to one of the banks I always suggest and I recommend is Truist. That's the first bank that I go to. All right.
Okay.
Now, if you're in different areas, I know out here they got a Key Bank out here, right?
Yes, there's a Key Bank, First Horizon. This is, of course, local banks we're talking about here. But yeah, there's some of these local regional banks that's popular on YouTube where you'll be able to get funding just like Truist. But yeah, go ahead.
I got you. Yeah, in a couple seconds too, I'm gonna tell y'all another little trick to it in case y'all not in the area. Okay. But
okay. We're gonna get to that now.
We're gonna get to that one. That one, you make sure y'all pay attention to that one.
Ooh,
all right?
that's good.
So right now we got one LLC. Now here's the thing: when you go to these banks, again, you're gonna tell them the information. You gotta be careful. Make sure that you tell them the right NAICS code. You should have it written down so that you can tell them that. Right. You don't want to mess up. Each LLC, or we say we just got one.
Right.
They should be able to give you $20,000, literally at minimum, just for that one LLC.
Really?
But
now, of course, you got to have a strong personal credit and follow the steps that you just laid out right there.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. So that's like the personal credit card. My bad, the business credit card, right? You also might get maybe $5,000, even $10,000 on the business. My bad, on the personal.
On the personal
right?
side.
On the personal, right?
Okay.
Now, here's the trick to it, right? That was just with one LLC, and that was just one bank, right? Imagine if you did the same thing. You had let's say you opened up 5 LLCs. Now this one bank, you just got $20,000 from each LLC. So that's $100,000 one bank. But not only on top of that, you got to use some strategy behind this is also to find the banks that pull from specific credit bureaus.
Oh, that's the key.
That's the key. So if you find the banks, so say you get everything that you can get from Truist, right?
Right.
Then you go to another bank that only pulls from say Equifax. Do the same thing. Go down to another bank that pulls from TransUnion.
Oh, so
kind of stack it up.
So you telling me, because if you go to one bank that pulls from Equifax and you go to a second bank that pulls from TransUnion, the one that pulls from TransUnion doesn't know anything about the one from Equifax, right?
They wouldn't have no idea. No way to tell.
Get the hell out of here, bro.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So now, let's just say if they gave you 20. Now here's what people don't really realize this too. Think of an EIN number as a social security number, right? If you got 5 people in a room, five people in the room got a 700 credit score. If they can all go get $20,000, each business, each LLC, it's going to be the same thing.
Right. It's entitled to it in a way because, like you say, that EIN number is like equivalent to the social security number. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. So that's a strategy right there. Okay. Go ahead.
And then when it comes to, they're going to ask you certain questions. They're going to ask you, hey, what is the business revenue? Mind you, this is a brand new business. So
yeah, it's not really making
projected. It's going to be projected income. So you can tell them, hey, listen, I plan on making $350,000. They can't tell you no because, mind you, you're trying to get the funding so that you can actually get the business off its feet. Don't just try to say, oh, I'm only going to make $5,000 a month. No. Tell them what you expecting to make because everybody wants to make the bag, right?
Tell them $100,000 in a year or whatever the case may be, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Once we do that initial play, we go to a bank in the morning, bank in the afternoon, one in the evening. So on the business side, you can actually go afterwards and remove those hard inquiries because it's not going to show on the personal side. I'm sorry, my bad. It's gonna show on the personal side, but once you actually get that funding, they're not going to be able to see it because it's on the business side. So you can actually go and remove those hard inquiries, find other banks, and actually run that play again.
Oh, wow. I see what you're saying. You get the business credit card from the 5 banks, right? And although they run your credit for those business credit cards, you can go ahead and get the inquiry removed because it's not attached to your personal credit. Or you tell them that, hey, this is not attached to my personal, I want it removed and everything like that. And you'll still be able to have the business cards, no problem at all, pretty much.
No problem at all. And the good thing about these credit cards, too, it's there's more ways to get funded. You got MCA, merchant cash advances. There's so many other ways, but obviously those are going to be more like once your business is over 2 years.
And it's running, making some money a little bit.
It's running, making some money because you're going to use the business income. And it's a lot of different things, but that's later on. We just talking about getting you actually started, right?
Period.
Okay. There's banks out there that actually do like $50K no docs, right? Matter of fact, since we're talking about it, you might as well go get onto this right now.
Okay, let's get into it. Come on.
So Key Bank, right? Key Bank, everybody talks about Key Bank. But the issue with Key Bank is that a lot of times people, you don't live in that state. See me, I'm in Maryland. There's no Key Bank in Maryland, but there's a Key Bank in Pennsylvania or Delaware. The trick to this is, make sure y'all listen good, right? You can actually file for an entity. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to make sure that you get a virtual address in that specific state. So if you're going to get a virtual address in, say, Pennsylvania or wherever the state that that you're going to travel to, you're going to be using your passport, right? Now, once you go into this bank, you're going to see this virtual address. You got your foreign entity that you just filed. Now, you have the ability to get funding in this state. So now this opens up the possibility of funding in all 50 states. And that 50K.
So just by getting that foreign entity, like you're saying, the ID you use your passport, which of course is you can use it in any 50 states, and you get that virtual address. So now you Gucci everywhere. Man, listen, man. If y'all still watching this right now, y'all just got about $1 million worth of game. No pun intended to wallow in what y'all got going on. But, man, that was some major game you just dropped right there, bro. Real talk.
Yeah, because like I said, it's about if somebody gives you like let's say you just run this play, you just get one bank and you got 5 LLCs, you got $100,000. If you know how to turn $100,000 into $200,000, come on now.
But hold on. Listen, man. First of all, I got my Blueprint community watching this right now. I ain't trying to get nobody jammed up either. So is this game you giving us, though, ain't nobody go get in trouble about. This ain't no I know listen, I know you could play with the gray area a little bit. Like, I just want to make sure that, you know, if they follow these steps, that they'll be able to execute it with no problems at all.
You just got to make sure that you follow the exact blueprint, because that's the most important thing. Like, because you can go on YouTube and they might say, hey, this. That's why it's very important that you follow everything step by step. It's all about strategy. You got to follow that exact blueprint, and that's what I'm trying to actually give you guys here today on this
episode. You know what? And let me ask you a question here, because obviously us being in financial literacy and the credit space and everything like that, we experience a lot of situations where our people just don't get it. And that's probably the main reason, especially financial literacy is so important nowadays. It affects every part of your life in this country, right? But if something that affects you so much, but everybody knows so little of it, obviously there's a problem, right? So let me ask you, with the biggest obstacle in financial literacy, do you think it's the lack of the information being out there, or just are people receiving it?
I would say it's both, but I also think it's the people receiving it, because we don't have the faith. We just, okay, now this probably don't gonna work. This is a scam. There's no way that this is gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I also say it's the first part as well, because we don't have access to the information, right? I feel like some of the stuff they don't want to teach you, because in school, like, I never ever once, and I never even heard it being possible. I never took a class on financial literacy. I never took a class on credit. Or what it is. It's crazy, but it's really
real talk, though.
Right?
Seriously, yeah.
So it's like they set you up for failure. They just put you out here in this world, and hey, they just taught you to work a 9-to-5 job, go to school, go to college, but there's much more to it.
Of course, I agree with you, because the American dream for so long have been go to school, go to college, end up getting a degree, working at a job, get your pension, retire, get the kids and all that good stuff, and boom, that's the good life for you, right? Maybe even go to church every Sunday. But now you see how, since the pandemic, you get, especially the younger generation, they switching up. They got side hustles. They want instant gratification. They got their YouTube, TikTok, gaming, and they want it now. You feel me? But damn it, that's my money, and I want it now, right? That commercial, right? But and I want to say something, because my daughter said something to me the other day, right? She's 16, and she's time for her to get her first job, right? And I was like, okay, bet. Where you want to work at? You thinking the typical kid, especially when I was growing up, they're going to work at the supermarket, be a bagger, or be a cashier. The typical. You know what she said to me?
What she said?
I want to work virtually.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when it immediately hit me, like, damn, the times has changed. You know what I'm saying? And you can't blame them, because for 2 years they locked in the school. They locked in the house because of the pandemic. They went to school virtually. Now they're trying to work virtually, and
everybody got cell phones all day. ChatGPT, like,
the game has changed now. Knowing how fast the information, the times that we're in, which I've said all that to challenge you in the aspect of, I believe that the information is there. The biggest problem is just our people not wanting to receive it, like whether they think they're fearful of it, they think it's a scam, or maybe even systematic. Maybe it's intentionally being withheld from us, right? But I want your thoughts and opinion in the aspect of knowing all of this, right? And now you're in the game of financial literacy. If you can share a story that's somebody that you've helped and you've really turned their lives around, because I think you shared this off air with me, but I want the audience to be able to hear an example of somebody who you've turned around.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So even before that too, like, we're gonna get into this too, but I want y'all to understand this concept, right? these billionaires out here, these billionaires, they're willing to invest in themselves, right? These billionaires will spend millions to become billionaires. Millionaires will spend thousands to become a millionaire. But broke people, they don't want to spend nothing, but they expect to get rich, right? So you got to understand.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's the thing right there. It's like you got to be able to invest in yourself, right? I have a tattoo right here. It says no risk, no reward. I don't know where my eyes are getting a little watery right now. But
no, that's what's up. I like that. Yeah.
yeah. I had this client. Her name was Jessica. What we ended up doing was able to get her $50,000 for a credit card. I was talking to her, trying to figure out exactly what it is that she could actually do, right? She was in the healthcare industry. I said, you know what? There's this idea that you're actually going to do that's really easy. It's passive income. You just go ahead and take this, use this initial investment for this business credit, and you're set for life. Right?
Okay. Makes sense.
So I told her to go to this website. I told her to go to massagechairstore.com. So she went to massagechairstore.com. Mind you, now she got $50,000 on the credit card. Mind you, like I said, with it being on a credit card, it's not like when you get a personal loan. With a personal loan, as soon as you get it, you got to pay it back right away. So that's one thing I always like to do when I throw that in there, just to say,
right. Okay.
you get credit, don't mean that you have to actually use it. But you should use it. You should leverage it. So she went on this website. She was able to get she was able to purchase 20 vending massage chairs. And with these 20 vending massage chairs, all you got to do now, or else she had to actually do, was just find good areas that had good traffic, malls, casinos, rest stops.
Where she could put the chairs in.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Knowing that each chair could bring her in anywhere between $700 to $1,300. Obviously, it just depends on your location.
Makes sense.
So let's just say on average. So she started doing this. She found them good locations. She was bringing in about $1,000, like I said, on average each one. That's $20,000 a month passively, right?
Damn.
Her initial investment was $50,000. She's bringing in 20. I told her to find somebody to go out there that can collect the money, make sure the machines actually work, because you don't want to just be out there every couple of days going here. You don't got to do the work.
Exactly.
You want to understand that you got to be able to work on your business, not so much in your business, right? Let's just say she's paying them about $5,000. Now she's pocketing $15,000 per month, right?
Passive.
Right. Not even doing nothing. She took initial investment, $50,000, passively $15,000. 4 months later, now she's at $60,000. She's $10,000 above.
Now it's all house money at this point. She take the money, she could pay back the credit cards and everything, and boom, keep it rolling.
Yep, man. What I just told her, I said, listen, so now you got this passive flow of income. Just keep it up. I said, listen, what you could either do one, you could get another credit card, get some more business credit, get another $50K, do the same thing, get 20 more, or use the money that you're making passively and just go ahead and purchase some more. So now you double your income.
Exactly. And even that, those 3-4 months that she's making the money from the massage chairs, now she has seasoned history, bank statements to be able to go ahead and go anywhere and be like, okay, look what I've been doing for the past 4 months. Okay, let me get 50, let me get 100, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, now you're building your business credit profile too. And you know what? This is one thing I actually forgot to even add to this earlier. Like I said, is we just so in the moment with all this information. Right. But speaking of that too, like when you start building up your business credit, you want to actually start adding business trade lines. You got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You got so things like Nav, Granger. You can go to eCredible. And just another little tip too on the on the personal side, if you don't have no credit history, what you can actually do is you can backdate your rent. If you're paying rent right now currently, go to Rent Reporters, credit my rent, and that's like an instant boost right there in your credit score. So you don't always have to sit there and wait 2 years, 3 years. If you got anybody in your family, your mom, your dad, your cousin that has really good credit, you can get them the address, authorized user.
Okay.
So these are just some kind of tips. These are like tricks that you can actually use to go ahead and actually make sure that your credit score is in place so that you can run these passive income plays right here.
Exactly. And you could quickly boost your credit by, like you say, by reporting your rent, as well as being an authorized user and things like that as well. Okay. So dope. I like that, man. Especially with that young lady, and the best thing I like about it is that she, no risk, no reward. She made a risk with the $50,000, and boom, creating a job for somebody, because the person she's paying $5,000 for now has a job, right? And now she has a business that's taking care of herself, and she can go ahead and continue to expand. So I hope the audience really took heed to that story that you just shared right there. I really like that. That's dope, man. Seriously, because if we have more and more examples of that, I think that would eliminate the problem we just talked about, where fear and the fear of scamming would get it out of the equation.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, man, Jaron, this has been a dope episode and everything like that. Before we wrap up, man, I want you to see if you could share with everybody what's one tip you would share with anybody, with the audience out there, where it comes to building their business credit and personal credit. What's the one piece of advice you would share with them?
most importantly, make sure you do it right the first time, and don't wait till later on. Start now, because like I said, with the government and the way things are working,
right,
things are always changing. They might say make it to where you can get these $50K no docs. They might require a whole bunch of other stuff. So get started now.
I see what you're saying. Right.
And like I said, have that roadmap. Find yourself a mentor. Just think about it like this as a GPS, right? Let's just jump this back. No risk, no reward. Because I used to have this. I still have it now. It was a Navy Federal, right? Special way to kind of help you get funded a little bit quicker. Like it's a little blueprint on it.
Okay.
It was just $37. But I used to tell people, like, would you risk? Because you, like I said, we were talking about them being scared of this going to be a scam, but you willing to risk $37 to be able to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, right?
Oh man, that makes sense. Come on now.
Now,
Yeah,
what happens if you don't take that risk, then you get nothing? So that's the whole theory behind, like I said, no risk, no reward. So with a GPS, when you think of a GPS, like I said, as a mentor, right? Like I said, I live in Maryland. I flew down here to Florida. But if I was to drive, but I ain't have no GPS, I didn't have no kind of guidance, nothing to tell me that this road right here may be closed, or even if there's a police up ahead, like on Waze, let you know to slow down.
Okay.
It could have taken me 2 to 3 days actually get down here if I was to drive, versus, and mind you, that's time wasted. Versus
Money, energy, everything. Yeah.
Versus investing into a GPS is going to take you right there. You're not tired, you're not stressed out, and same thing, like I said, as a business, do it right. Don't let it take you 2 or 3 years to finally get yourself some funding, because by that time,
it may be too late for a lot of things.
It may be too late, but mind you, if you'd have got yourself $20,000, $30,000 a month, you would have been way ahead. Now here you
way behind. Yeah. So I like that you shared that. Obviously, here in the Blueprint platform, that's the main pillar that we share with the audience here. Is, of course, it doesn't matter what you want to do, whether you want to be the next billionaire or you just want to go ahead and live check to check. If you want any type of success in life, you got to have a plan. You got to have a blueprint right there. So I like that you just emphasize that a little more, especially with your approach and your strategy and everything. So I hope the audience, at the end of the day, I always say this, the audience won today, because they was able to go ahead and get a lot of good gems that you was able to drop, as well as the game that you was dropped. If you could also share with the audience what else you got coming up, if there's any type of programs, events you going, mentorships, digital products, go ahead and let the audience know so they can tap in with you.
All right, so yeah, before we get too far in here and you guys forget, the attention span of this day is, like I said, it's crazy.
TikTok
Listen,
babies.
If you're trying to really learn this blueprint, like I said, we talking about the blueprint movement, right? If you want to know the blueprints, you want to know the exact step by step, the first thing that you can actually do is you go to my Instagram profile, J_the CEO, right? You're going to see where it says, get my free 0 to 150K credit, right? It's a digital course. It's free. Go there, check it out. Now, because it's free, don't take that as, okay, I just,
don't violate it. Yeah, don't violate. Come on,
know,
get right.
So we know those who pay attention. If I charge, pretend like I'm charging you $5,000 for this information. Make sure that you implement. That's the most important thing.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So the other thing too, what I always tell people, we mentioned digital products, right?
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what industry that you actually do. If you cut hair, it don't matter. I tell all my clients this, right? If you got yourself an expertise, there's going to be other people out there that's actually watching you. They want to learn the same exact step. So why not create yourself a digital product? Make money in your sleep. This is another passive income opportunity.
Wow, yeah. Especially with the power of AI, you got assistants now that could pretty much do the content for you. Yeah,
it can do it for you. You can
much.
literally go in there and say, write me an ebook on how to start my own hair salon without spending my own money.
Boom.
Then it's going to tell you everything. It's going to tell you, 1, build your personal credit. 2, get your business credit. And then whatever the next steps are, I don't know how to do it. I never looked at the ebook, but
Right.
like I said, do that. But also too, like in my courses, I don't just teach you how to actually fix your credit, right? That's one thing, right? Because everybody want to know what you do after that. I also teach you how to build up your business credit in this course, then also how to turn it into passive income opportunities. So there's a lot of them out there, right? We don't have enough time to go here and explain everything here in this short time. So that's why it's important. You can also go to www.sixfigurefunding.com.
Wait, spell that for the audience so they know exactly.
So yeah, the www.FIGURFUNDING.com. Once you get there, it's gonna have a little form. Fill that out, and you're gonna get the instant access to the course. All right, and then from there, like I said, just again, make sure you implement and just take action. Right, 2024, right around the corner.
Let's get it, man. Listen, guys. As you guys know, if you did not catch it, we're definitely going to have the website inside of the show notes as well as the description of today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed the game that Jaron was able to go ahead and give y'all. As you can see, he flew all the way from Maryland. We got him from up top to come down here, y'all. So listen, all right? He came here especially in the blueprint to give y'all the blueprint, and that's how we do shit, guys. So as you guys know, thanks for tapping in. Thanks for checking us out. And as always, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.